It's quarter to 6 at the Sophia, I guess I'm pronouncing it right, campground here at the Gila National Forest. I left the cliff dwellings yesterday because I wanted to get on the road a little bit. It saved me about an hour this morning with that drive over the big mountain. Nice campground overall. I don't know how it would be in the rain because there's like no ground cover and you just park wherever you want. People have fires pretty much wherever they want, even though there are fire pits. There are, of course, the composting toilets. But yeah, there's a road right over there. But the main focus of the video today is my sleep system. Now, I've hammock camped many times, South Texas, hill country, and been okay. I woke up freezing. It's 45 degrees right now. I thought the foam pad inside the sleeping bag would be enough. It's not. It's still compressed. So I took one of my 2 sleeping bags at about 5 o'clock this morning and rigged it with the hammock going through it so I'd have more of an underquilt situation. And that was better. But these 40-degree Ozark Trail sleeping bags, even though they're rated for 40 degrees, that's not comfortable. And with the hammock, with the 360 airflow, it's insufficient. So even with the underquilt kind of cocoon, I was kind of cold the last 45 minutes. I just dozed. I don't think I slept any after 5. Sun's coming up here pretty quick. So I'll break this down, get some breakfast, pack up, hit the road. I'm going to head towards Cloudcroft. It looks like, depending on the weather, if it rains tonight, I might do a tarp, cowboy camp kind of under a tarp on the ground. With the foam pad, I should be fine because I was at 40 degrees previous night on the ground fine. So it's amazing what a difference that airflow underneath the hammock. I was much more comfortable, but I was colder. So that's the trade-off. The solar panel gave me enough charge to run all night. Not a problem. I started about 11 o'clock, and it's just before 6, so all night, meaning just under 7 hours. But it was enough. So I plug it into the car as I'm driving and charge it enough that way. And I'll have the solar panel on the dashboard when I'm parked and see if I'm charging that way. And hopefully it'll have enough charge to get me through tonight. Gonna sightsee around Cloudcroft and see what there is to do. Got those through hikers I met up with the day before, Sunday afternoon. I saw them on the highway yesterday, heading towards the cliff dwellings and the Gila River, and talked to them briefly again. And they said I have to get pizza at Cloudcroft Pizza, and that there's some barbecue place there from some Texas expat who makes excellent barbecue. So I have meal options besides what I brought to camp with that I'm supposed to try out. But I don't think I'll get both of them. Pizza sounds interesting, though. I might have to take an afternoon nap today. We'll see how it goes. That's it for now, so I can get ready for breakfast. Well, it's just after 7 a.m. I left my little campsite this morning. I'm headed, theoretically, to Cloudcroft, New Mexico. I'll probably strip down a few more layers on the way as the day warms up. It's still 48 degrees right now, so it's kind of chilly. For some reason I was thinking, I did my math wrong. That overlook yesterday at 7440 and the river at 5200, that's about 2200 feet down. So that was a pretty big drop. That road was scary for people that are afraid of heights and people that get car sick. Thankfully, I was driving. If I had been a passenger, I probably would have died literally on that road, just from fear or from nausea. But it's gorgeous, and it definitely was challenging. The first time I drove it on the way in, I was racing the clock trying to get to the visitor center before they closed at 4, and the bookstore before they closed at 4 to get a map. Yeah, I took the road a little too fast going in. Coming out yesterday morning or afternoon, I took it much more slowly, and as you saw, I stopped to take that video. So anyway, this road out today, it should be pretty mild. I actually should be hitting cell service within half an hour here, maybe even closer. I'm not going to post these videos yet. I'm going to try to get home and string them together and post them that way. So we'll see how it goes. So I'm on the road again. Oh, I wanted to add a little housekeeping. I am wearing my tennis shoes, my New Balance shoes, and just some ankle socks, because my boots are still wet probably. And my socks that I was wearing with my boots through all those river crossings are strung across the back window here of the car. Hopefully they will get some sunlight on them and dry out sometime today. I do have a spare pair of liners and boot socks that I can put on, but my boots might still be wet, so that might not even be worth it. I might just be wearing tennis shoes at Cloudcroft. We'll see how it goes. I just passed White Sands National Park. Didn't feel like stopping there. Been there before. Interesting. I didn't know there was a Border Patrol checkpoint there, Alamogordo, right across from White Sands, basically. Kind of like the last one I went through. How you doing? Have a good day. Drive safe. Didn't ask if I was a citizen or anything like they do in Texas. But I've got a good view now of the mountains underneath thunderstorms at Cloudcroft. Now there are a couple rain showers, but it's not anything serious, and it's probably the forecast shows that it's not even raining in Cloudcroft today at all. So there are some storms in the Lincoln National Forest that shouldn't be affecting where I am probably. And if it does, oh well, I might get wet. Actually, I just checked the weather forecast for Cloudcroft, and yeah, their thunderstorms are forecast with winds. And there's some anviling at the top of that storm, so there's definitely a thunderstorm up there. But I've already committed to it, so I guess I'm going up there. If I spend the rainy portion of the day indoors, I guess that's what I do. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll drive home tonight. Who knows? Like I said earlier, I'm just winging it on this trip. So the thunderstorm in the mountains, the Sacramento Mountains near Cloudcroft, has gotten worse. It is raining here in Cloudcroft. It just started the last few minutes. I stopped and got myself some barbecue at the brother-in-law barbecue and Texas expat guy from near Georgetown. Anyway, so I had a decent barbecue sandwich and splurged on that. Figure I'll ride the storm out. Well, riding the storm out has turned into an all-day thing if I'm going to do that. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Got some great maps from the rangers at the Sacramento Ranger Station at the Lincoln National Forest here. Unfortunately, where they suggested to go camping is going to be in the thunderstorm for the next several hours. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I mean, it's Cloudcroft. I guess I could hit the tourist destinations, but I'm not really a tourist. I'm not dressed for it. I'm wearing the same clothes I've been wearing since Sunday. Probably don't smell the greatest. Figured the barbecue place would be fine because the smoke smell covered up my smell. I don't think I'm gonna head to the campground just yet because of the fact of the storm being in the area. So I might just find someplace here in town to park and ride the storm out for the next, I don't know, 7-8 hours and see what happens. It looks like the storm should be moving through the area by 11 p.m. Now that's not too bad. I can sit up in the dark. I've done that a few times in my life. and then get to sleep. It might give me a chance to get more charge on my CPAP battery anyway. Especially if I found some place that would let me sit and read my book with the power outlet. That'd be even better, because I could actually plug it into real AC power and charge it a heck of a lot faster than the car cigarette lighter's doing. So yeah, that's the plan. Heck, I might walk back inside the restaurant and see if they'd let me sit here and read. Anyway, talk to y'all later. Okay, so I just drove through a fairly patchy, foggy spot, and there is hail on the ground. Looks like snow back there. It was really a lot of accumulation of hailstones. Look right here. This is light compared to what it was back there. I'm guessing this is hail. I can't imagine it actually snowed. But the storm, probably hail, is obviously what was likely. And of course, I'm driving into the storm, but I'm also driving home. So I'm going to take it easy. If I encounter hail, I will stop and try to avoid it. But this is pretty up here. I've already come down about maybe 1,000 feet, I guess, from Cloudcroft. I'm in what's called the James Valley. But yeah, it's gorgeous up here. I turned around, was heading back because I wanted to see this. I mean, you can see it through there, but there are an entire herd of elk right there through those trees. Yeah, they're looking at me. Stuck in traffic in Carlsbad, New Mexico, because of this flooding from the storm. It is actually ahead of me, but the rain has already fallen here, so here's where the flooding happens. Surprisingly, most of the creek beds have still been dry, so I don't know where all this rain's going. I guess it's staying on the streets. So I'm in a delayed, about 5 minutes says slow down, so I can get out of this town. Okay, so the crazy trip is getting crazier. I am limping 4.5 miles back into Pecos, Texas, because I'm losing a tire. I can hear the tread flopping. It literally just started as I left Pecos, just got 3-4 miles outside of Pecos and started making noise. I stopped to check it, and I can feel a little flap of tread on the inner sidewall. So luckily, I did grab my full-size spare tire for this car before I left for this trip, but I'm gonna head back into this Love's Travel Center up here, about 4 miles away from where I am now, and I will change the tire, and I will air up the others because they're all a little low. I think they all lost some pressure at the high altitude and the cold. But I will I might be spending the night in Pecos. We'll see how it goes. This sucks. This really sucks. It's jacked up. It's wiggling. All the lugs are out. And it won't freaking come off at all. Okay, well, it's a new day, and I'm still on this trip. I think I'm going to call it Mike's Mountain Misadventure. I have had a good night's sleep in a Motel 6. I showered. I've got clean clothes on. I smell good now. I am driving on 3 tires, and a 4th is the full-size spare I was smart enough to pack with me. Got on the road, Stopped at the McDonald's, had a nice breakfast there. They've actually got good breakfast. Their lunch dinner menu sucks, but their breakfast is good. I'm on my way to Fort Stockton. I'll stop there for gas. I could probably get further, but I want to stop at a Love's because I get the discount, so I'll do that. And that should give me enough gas to make it home. I'll also need to use the restroom by then. I got about 15 more minutes to get there. About 5 minutes down the road after I left breakfast, the tire light starts flashing on the dash. Check tire system. Yeah, I know, because it's in the trunk. Evidently it lost all its air pressure overnight, but I kind of expect that. Had a pretty good size tread was coming off on the sidewall right at the corner, and had about a 6-8 inch strip that had peeled back, and that's what was making the noise. Was that was going around, was flopping, it was hitting the inner wheel well. And glad I heard that, because if I hadn't heard that, I probably would have gone a few more miles and had an actual blowout. But it was fortuitous that it happened so close to a town. I was able to limp back into Pecos last night and all that. So I'm just cruising on down the road here. This might be my last video entry into this journal. We'll see if anything else happens on the way home. Otherwise, I'm just going to be driving. Really nothing much you haven't seen already. So that's it. I decided to record a little bit more. Some musings, I guess you might say. You know, sometimes discretion is a better part of valor, they say. So I'm going to go ahead and just think a little bit about this trip. So I had a pretty ambitious plan. And though I had the skill set and some of the experience to do what I planned to do, I didn't have the physical capabilities because I've been out of shape. Let myself go way too long. So I need to work on that. That's got to be the big focus, is to get back into shape, at least better shape. Maybe not the shape I was in years ago, but at least in the shape that I could enjoy 4 or 5 days backpacking. I need to get to that level. You know, some of the equipment issues I've talked about I need to address, but only after I get into shape. No sense in spending any more money on equipment if I'm not going to be able to use it. So that's got to be the focus. The trip I planned was backpacking for 4 days, 5 days. Didn't work out. I still could have stayed camping, so sort of. Where I was I didn't have the right camping equipment just to enjoy camping. So I was stuck in an in-between situation where I wasn't physically able to do the backpacking what I wanted to do, and I wasn't equipped to do the regular car camping that I would have ended up doing. So that's why I kind of decided just to quit and head home. Heading to Cloudcroft would have been nice to enjoy camping there, but the weather didn't cooperate with the equipment that I had. And it's a good thing too, because of the tire situation. Had I gone down that dirt road and tried to find a place to remote camp on a distributed forest land, I could have been stranded with, you know, a flat tire and no assistance. And I needed assistance. I couldn't get the tire off last night. It was stuck on after I'd taken the lug nuts off and everything. I didn't have the tool that I needed to get it off. Now, I could have gotten a big rock and banged on it and got it loose like the tire lady. Yeah, it was a lady who came to change my tire last night. She used a big hammer and a block of wood and pounded on the wheel until it set itself loose. I could have done that with a rock, but I would have been on the dirt road, middle of nowhere, doing that. Wet, probably cold, and miserable. And so it turns out that coming home, despite coming in the rain, driving through horrible thunderstorms and flash flooding on the way, it worked out, because where the tire did go, it went where I was close to a hotel, a gas station, someplace where somebody could come out and do the roadside assistance. So that worked out. So like everything else in life, you've got to chalk things up to lessons learned. And I've learned some lessons from this trip. I was a very experienced camper. I thought I was a pretty experienced backpacker, just out of shape backpacker. So I knew I could do certain things. I knew what I couldn't do. And I was smart enough to stop when I got to a place where I couldn't do what I wanted to do, because I kept myself out of trouble. I could have been in a serious bad situation had I stayed out on the trail and not had the right fitness to do it, and gotten in a situation where I physically would have needed help to get out. Even though I do have the Garmin inReach, which would have allowed me to call for an SOS, I was prepared for that sort of a thing, but I didn't have to, because I knew better, and I didn't push myself to the point where I needed assistance like that. I turned around and came back. It worked out for my situation with the tire. So knowing when to say enough is as important as pushing yourself. And I did push myself in this trip, but I didn't push myself beyond. And that's an important thing to know also, is when you're out in a wilderness situation, and I've had enough experience doing this, it's important to know when to say stop. It's not worth another step. I've been in situations with Boy Scouts where I've been a Scoutmaster, and I've said, hey, we need to call this off. The weather's not cooperating. All the boys are wet. All the equipment's wet. Yeah, we could probably go, but it's not safe any further. And so I did that with myself this trip. And so, you know, it wasn't the trip I planned. I didn't do everything I wanted to do, but I got out. I got outside. I got to enjoy some things. I got to see some wilderness I'd never seen before. And I enjoyed what I did. I just didn't do as much as I had originally planned on doing. So it looks like I'm getting into Fort Stockton now, so I'm going to cut this video short. And like I said, this might be the last one. It might not. We'll see.